We do not know the cause of this incident. I'm sure you're going to all want to ask that. We do not know the cause. But again, we have no indication that there was any terror nexus here.
Welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. Could there be more to this New York City helicopter crash than originally has been reported? We're going to look at different digs from the Anons, which tie together the fact that this all goes back to a Q post from back in 2017 and connects directly to Russian banksters and Chinese strategy intelligence fronts. You guys are going to want to check out this story. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. I always begin by saying thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button, and thank you especially to everybody who's pushed us past the 200,000 mark. We're proud. I'm proud. Thank you. I'm very thankful. All thanks to God. But if you haven't, please come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Also, don't forget to go hit that like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. So, obviously, we always start off checking the Q board. Nothing new here. We're still at Q post 3349. And we're still in a holding pattern, but we're getting an incredible amount of information every single day with what's happening in the news. And if you didn't think anything was happening, let me tell you, things are happening, and we're going to cover those stories here. And including what we're going to talk about more specifically to begin with is this New York City helicopter crash and how it connects to not only one of the first Q posts, but how it connects to Russian banking and clown-operated Chinese intelligence fronts. So you guys are going to want to stick around to watch the full video. But before we do that, I always encourage everyone to come back here to the landing page, watch these last few videos, share them on your social media, because look, YouTube is not going to be putting this in anybody's suggested video unless you're probably subscribed. So you guys got to hand share this. You got to go hit the share button. It helps out. It makes a huge difference. So thank you. And if you guys are scratching your head going, what is QAnon the Great Awakening? Please come here, watch this video. It'll give you all that information and much, much more. So I always encourage everyone to check out those when we start. So where are we at here? We're starting with this story. Obviously today, June 10, 2019, or yesterday, I guess, depending on where you are, a pilot was in a fatal helicopter crash who was apparently conducting executive travel inside of New York City. Now, there is an incredible amount of coincidences surrounding this incident that we're going to look at, that a lot of the Anons have been digging on, that seem to point to the fact that there was a lot more going on in this building. And the building itself, one of its primary tenants, was listed by Q back in 2017 as somebody that we should be digging on. And once you start putting these pieces together, I'm going to say this right now at the front end of this video. I want to say this looks like it possibly could have been some sort of cover for a raid. Now, obviously, thoughts and prayers to the family of the deceased pilot, but without getting too conspiratorial here, because we're going to try to stay in sort of a fact-based, fact-finding mode, I'd like to just preface this by saying that it is possible to remote control a helicopter. Just throwing it out there. So that is what it is. But it's saying here that a pilot in the helicopter crash fatally was wounded and lost his life. But what's interesting about this is there was bad weather, and apparently they were saying that, you know, he got lost and then ended up crashing into this building. Well, when I mapped all of this out, nothing made sense. So the way this story goes is this way. I guess that from somewhere, the pilot had picked up his client, who is an Italian businessman. And if we all know anything about Italy, it's very closely tied to China now, especially some of the more, let's say, corrupt factions. And when you actually plug all this in, right, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so apparently the pilot dropped off his client here at the West 30th Street heliport, which is in Midtown Manhattan. And then the official story is that the pilot was going to travel from here at the West 30th Street heliport back to Linden, New Jersey, where presumably there is a facility where the helicopter should be able to land, one of their operating base, I believe. So that was the official story. And then somehow, after 11 minutes after takeoff from this location here on West 30th Street, it ended up crashing on top of this building, the AXA Equitable building in Midtown Manhattan in Hell's Kitchen here. which is only a few blocks from Trump Tower. So this is very interesting to consider. So what happened? The helicopter, I guess, crashed onto the roof in a crash landing after radioing it needed help, and subsequently emergency personnel responded, and the situation was brought under control. Now, I know a lot of people in New York, obviously, whenever they hear this kind of thing happen, it really brings back bad memories. So it was obviously a tragic and disturbing thing for a lot of people to see today. But my contention is, could there have been more to this story than we first are reading, especially getting as far as reports from the mainstream media? Now, why do I say that? Well, one of the Anons who was doing this incredible dig found some very fascinating information that I think we should all be looking at. So it talks about QPost 238. Now, what is QPost 238? QPost 238 is something that we've covered here on the channel, one of the original posts back from November of 2017, where it says, Sidley Austin, happy hunting Q. Well, what is Sidley Austin? Who is Sidley Austin? This is a question I think we should all look at. So first of all, Sidley Austin is a general practice law firm that is based in the United States, and this is a law firm that was founded through the merging of two very historic law firms. One, Sidley and Austin, which was founded in 1866, and a New York-based law firm, Brown and Wood, which was founded back in 1914. And now they are headquartered in Chicago, downtown Chicago, at 1 South Dearborn. So this is really something that you should look at. And then one of the other things that I thought was interesting when I was reading into their backstory is that they actually had offices. One of the Brown and Wood, which was one of the firms that merged into Sidley Austin, was actually headquartered in the World Trade Center prior to 9/11. So this was really something I thought was fascinating and interesting. And if you're saying, what does this have to do with the helicopter crash and the AXA building? Well, here you go. So the AXA Equitable Center, which is in downtown New York, in Manhattan, in Midtown Manhattan, this is the skyscraper where the crash occurred, was actually the headquarters to none other than, you guessed it, Sidley Austin Limited Liability Partnership. And so this is where their offices are headquartered. Now, I can't tell you exactly what floor that they are on, but I can tell you that when a helicopter hits a building, you're going to have a complete evacuation. That might be the perfect time for information to be extracted from offices that may otherwise be usually inhabited, if that makes sense. That's why I'm trying to look at this more of what it could have been. The question really here is, we have this helicopter crash, this true tragedy, obviously, for the loss of life there, but we're also looking at the possibility of, what this could more broadly mean, and that's what the Anon was pointing out here. And what they also go on to point out was that Sidley Austin was the one that we were told by Q was something we should start digging on, and apparently a lot of Anons did dig on this. So they're an LLP that was representing VTB, which was a Russian bank that contributed $385,000 to Hillary Clinton in 2016, and Sidley Austin is registered as a representative of foreign agents representing VTB. And if you want proof of that, is actually included documentation of it, where they actually have documented evidence showing that this VTB bank is being represented by Sidley Austin as far as the FARA, which is the Foreign Agents Registration Act for individuals who are representing foreign entities on American soil. That was something that was interesting to note, and the Anon picked that up really quickly. And then it went on to say that the whole reason that they were giving these donations to Hillary Clinton was to lobby about sanctions, and that's covered here in this Sidley Austin document that's been shown here as part of the FARA registration, where it talks about the initial matter is the provision of government strategies, counsel, and advice and lobbying directed toward the United States Congress and administration on behalf of VTB Bank regarding the imposition of sanctions by the U.S. government on Russian affiliated banks. So what they're saying is that they're representing, they're registering with FARA to represent the interests of the Russian government in getting rid of sanctions, basically. So this is where it gets very interesting. And it talks about how then it donated $385,000 to Hillary Clinton in 2016, and the DNC Services Corps received $140,000, and the DCCC received $55,000. That goes on to give a few more of these direct examples of where the money was going. If you go here to their Open Secrets account, it shows here that they were giving money to, obviously, Hillary Clinton, the DNC services, other representatives, and even some to Ted Cruz. Very interesting, right? But also, what was really funny about this is that if you keep digging a little bit deeper, first you have their foreign registration and all that stuff. We have Sidley Austin here, who is representing VTB Bank and the Moscow Norid NY Bank. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but anyway, this is their filings, but their most recent is obviously with the VTB Bank. And here's the interesting thing too. If you look at their open secrets for Sidley Austin LLP, it shows here very directly that you have them now giving money to Christian Gillibrand and Beto O'Rourke. And of course, Tim Kaine, Act Blue, non-federal Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, and they're big donors putting the money out there, trying to effectively push their influence. Now, why does this matter? Well, this matters because it all ties back to the fact that we had this Q post here, which was given to us back in November of 2017, where it says Sidley Austin, happy hunting. Now, the very next post after that, which I think is very important, is where it says the Asia Foundation, CIA, and it gives this long code stringer, and it says happy hunting Q. Okay, so what does this have to do with anything? Well, if you look at what the Anons did as far as digging on the answers for this one, there's actually a lot of really fascinating information in here. But what it says is that in its early history, the Asia Foundation was under the State Department and was focused on anti-communist efforts in China. Now it seems to be a CIA organization with focus on all Asian countries, including India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. So what this is basically saying is that the Asia Foundation is a front for the what you would say is an operation that's being conducted by the clandestine intelligence services in order to keep an eye on Asia and what's going on over there. So why is that important, and how does that all connect? Well, if you think about where we're at, we have this report coming out. And this is one that just came out from the New York Post, which is talking about how Kim Jong-un's brother was an informant for the CIA. Now, you all remember his brother here, Kim Jong-nam, who was the brother of Kim Jong-un and reportedly being backed by the Chinese Communist Party as a replacement for Kim Jong-un. Now, this is where it gets really crazy. So I know I'm kind of taking you guys all around on a full tangent here, but this is really information that once you start connecting these dots and you do this work long enough, you kind of can see right through it. So we have a helicopter crash at a law firm in New York City that connects back to an original Q post from back in 2017, where would it be too far of a stretch to say that any type of incident like this would give incredible time and ability for people who may be working clandestinely to access certain offices, to access certain files, to basically raid entire office without anybody being around because of information that may be connecting certain, let's say, clown organizations to operations in Asia, which included supporting the Chinese Communist Party and helping Kim Jong-nam try to overthrow Kim Jong-un, which is part of the reason why he was probably, launching missiles over Japan and acting very, very aggressively because he knew that the plan was to overthrow him. And I mean, they made movies about this. Don't forget, there was a whole Hollywood movie with those some famous people, the actors Seth Rogen and others, who it was the whole premise of the movie was them actually operating a secret mission to go and assassinate Kim Jong-un. I mean, that's literally what the movie's about. And it was a comedy and everyone laughed, and then somebody hacked Sony, and it was just, you guys remember how bad that was. But let me just tell you this right now. What we're seeing is an incredible set of coincidences that I think if we kind of start tying them all together, we look at the Asia Foundation. One of their main offices is in New York City, and they are certainly what you would call a multinational foundation, which is that they have offices in 18 different countries. Now, the first thing I thought when I saw this was, this looks like a front for an intelligence operation. This looks like some kind of shell company for an intelligence operation. And you're going to have to go ahead and make that decision for yourself, because that's pretty much the level of information that we have right now on this dig. I just thought I'd bring that to you, and hopefully maybe this can get some of your, kick the cans around in your head there, and maybe get you to start looking at this information a little more critically, especially when it comes to this helicopter crash that happened in New York City and what more might have been happening with that. So obviously with that, I want to talk about another story here. First of all, do you recognize anyone in this photo? Well, the Genesee County Sheriff's Office has just implemented a task force which has arrested and plans on charging 22 individuals for crimes related to soliciting sex with underage children. So for those of you out there who keep saying, nothing's happening, nobody's being arrested, I keep trying to bring these stories up as they come to show you that we're not just getting them one by one. We're getting them in these big targeted raids, and and we're fighting this evil. And President Trump made a commitment back when he signed that executive order to combat human trafficking and child exploitation, that this is what we're doing. And one of the things that people were pointing out about this is you have right here Carl Spradlin. Who is Carl Spradlin? Well, according to this, he's a senior Comerica Bank executive who was among the 22 arrested in the alleged child sex sting. And we're thankful to get these predators off the streets. And the reality is, right now, as far as the story is reporting, it says the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team arrested the individuals for crimes related to soliciting sex with underage children. They were believed to be targeting children in Genesee County for sexual purposes. And this story just gets even more disturbing and sick when you look at the fact that among these individuals, there's a mother who has been charged with human trafficking of her 6-year-old daughter, which is this is just the most evil kind of thing people can do when they take and do this to kids. It's just, I don't even know what to say, but there is stuff happening right now. And let me just tell you right now that everything is happening behind the scenes, regardless of whether you see it on a day-to-day basis or not. But yeah, so I figured I'd share that report before we go. But that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. A few more things before we go. Obviously, I'd like to hear your insight into what's going on with all of this. And if you guys have any theories, or if there's more information, please go down and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this, because the fact of the matter is, we're here reporting on information as it comes, and we're trying to go through it. And the fact is that this is a story where I think there's going to be a lot more to it than first has been reported. But we're going to have to wait and see how that all comes out. But you can go ahead and share the links, get that out there on your social media. That helps the channel out big time, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Truly, your help is incredible, and I mean that. So a few other ways you can help out the channel. Obviously, you can come over here and find me on Just Informed Talk's official Twitter page at JustInformU, at JustInform, the letter U, on Twitter. And you can come get all my funny, smart, clever, hilarious, thought-provoking tweets, and we can have a conversation. It's a place where we can talk outside of the channel. So I always encourage everyone, all my new videos get posted here as soon as they get posted on YouTube. So if you guys want to come check that out, I would surely encourage all of you to come do that. Also, don't forget to go check out justinformednews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk, which is the place where you can get links to different Q stuff, links to different news websites. Also, you can get links to different breaking news, and of course, the latest videos from the channel right here. So I encourage everyone to go check that out. Also, you can come check out the new channel. I have this new channel I launched called the Just Informed Podcast. I would really encourage you all to come over here, subscribe, hit the notification button so you get notified when these get posted. And I think we have a lot more content on the way here, but this is a channel where we're just going to load interviews and kind of more long form stuff about behind the scenes and the channel. So you guys are going to want to check this every now and then, because it's going to be getting more and more posts coming there. So you guys are going to sign up now so you get notified when the videos get posted. Also, if you guys happen to be in Miami, or you're going to be in Miami in October of this year, I'm really going to encourage you guys to come and check out the American Priority Conference. So what is the American Priority Conference? It's a really fun time. It's a place where conservatives can get together and hash out ideas pretty much from all different backgrounds. And we can have a place where we can come together and talk with one another and get the information exchange going. And we're going to have some pretty awesome speakers and events too. One of the speakers, obviously here, Dinesh D'Souza, New York Times bestselling author, and went to jail for exposing Obama. Robert Davi here is going to be singing Sinatra. It's going to be a fun time. That plus a whole bunch of other people that you guys know from either YouTube or Twitter or some other social media or news organization. They're all going to be there, including all the people who are getting banned by YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. So it's a great opportunity for us to get together and spread our message and get some media attention. And I really want you guys to check it out. There's going to be, I think, a golf tournament. There's going to be a poker tournament for charity, obviously. And there's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to be really, really fun and a fun timing. Did I mention it's at the Trump National in Doral in Miami? Did I mention that we're going to be at one of the premier golf course resorts in the world in Miami, Florida? So if you're going to be there, or if you want to be there, I encourage you to go down in the description of this video, check the link, click the link to this conference, and get your ticket now while you can still get a good discount. And I would really encourage you all to do that if you want to see me and many others here at the American Priority Conference for 2019. So that's a cool way you can help out the channel as well. Also, don't forget to come over here and you can help me out on Patreon. It's a crowdfunding website, patreon.com. All you do is come here, click the Become a Patron button. It's a monthly donation. You set it and forget it. Now you're helping create content on this channel. I also have a GoFundMe set up if you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation. Links to all of this will be down in the description. So before we go, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. So tonight I have a very special verse I want to share with you, and it's out of the book of Galatians. And this verse, I think it really says a lot about the way I try to live my life, and I hope that it helps you understand the way that we're called by Christ to live our lives. And it's Galatians chapter 6, verse 6 through 10, and I want to share this with you. It says, "The one who is taught the message must share his goods with the teacher. Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, he will also reap. Because the one who sows to his flesh will reap corruption from the flesh. But the one who sows to the Spirit will reap eternal life from the Spirit. So we must not get tired of doing good, for we will reap at the proper time if we don't give up. Therefore, as we have opportunity, we must work for the good of all, especially for those who belong to the household of faith." And I think that's what we're all called to do. We're all called to continue to understand that sowing good into the world is how we become eternally saved through Christ. That is a part of our eternal salvation. But if you sow to the flesh, as it says here, and you know, for those of you out there who might not know, I mean, sowing is like planting seeds. You know, and then you would reap those seeds. You would reap the benefits of what you've sown. That's what the saying is. So I think, to me, this just reminds me that whatever we put into the world that's what we're getting back. And that's really an important idea when it comes to how we understand our impact on the world. But then more overly, I love this one line here where it says, whatever a man sows, he will also reap, because the one who sows to his flesh will reap corruption from the flesh, but the one who sows to the Spirit will reap eternal life from the Spirit. And that's what it is. If we sow to the Spirit and our connection to God, then we will reap the eternal salvation that's been bought and paid for with the blood of Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. So that's my message to you. I hope you can pass that message to your family, your friends, your loved ones, your kids, your whoever. Just get the message out there. And that's how we change the world. We don't change it by getting a bunch of money or, getting really famous or doing all of these things that are of the world, of the flesh here. We do it by changing the hearts and minds of those who have not yet really seen that they're saved, or maybe know they're saved but don't fully embrace it and don't understand that even though they might not receive the benefits of putting good into the world immediately, they might not reap those rewards so quickly, that if we keep sowing and keep faithful in God, eventually God will give you the fruits of your labor and much, much more that we can't even imagine. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. Again, come here, click the big red subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, hit it, punch it, smash it, pop it, knock it, do whatever you got to, hit it. It lets me know you guys like this content and want to see me make more, but that's going to be it for me. I want to say thanks for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.